Hello everyone, this is Yunus, and in this lesson we're going to be talking about function overloading. So the idea of function overloading is pretty simple. The whole concept is that you have a function and you have another function with exactly the same name, but it has a different argument that it accepts. So let's create a function called void, and let's say we're building a program where we have to display employee's ID and employee's salary. So let's call it display. And in this function, we're going to pass integer ID. That's going to be ID of the employee. And let's say double salary. So those are going to be our two arguments. And let's create the function definition up here. So in this function, all we're going to do, we're just going to display ID of the employee and employee's salary. That's all this function is going to do. Let's call this function in our main display. So we're going to write the name of the function. And let's say the employee's ID is 123. And the employee earns 45,200 a year, let's say. And let's build and run this. So as you can see, we have ID 123 and the salary. So now we're gonna overload this function. To do that, the overloaded function has the same name, so it's gonna be display. But the rule is that the arguments that you're passing, they have to be different than the previous one. So let's say in this one, instead of passing integer ID, we're gonna pass string the name of the employee and double salary instead of integer. And let's create a definition of that function down here. So, and we're gonna do pretty much the same thing, but now instead of having ID, we have a name of the employee name, and we're gonna call that function down here the same name, but when you pass the arguments, you have to give it a name. Let's say James is the name of our employee and maybe earns 46,000. Let's build and run this. So as you can see, even though the functions, they have the same name, C++ automatically knows which one to use by just looking at the arguments that you're passing. It knows that you're passing string as your first argument, so it's gonna use the second function. And the rule is that you can overload it as much as you can, but you cannot have the function with the same type of arguments. For example, on this one I have string and double. They're the same, so I can't do that way. Every time when you overload, it has to be different, maybe like double or float double, but it cannot be the same as we used before. So that's like the basic idea of function overloading. Thank you very much for watching.